Friends, sometimes I drive and it feels like I'm driving on a basin of water. When I turn left or right, I hear a sloshing sound underneath me, as if someone is shaking it in a basin. I have a second-generation Renault Megane, 270,000 miles on the clock. And what's causing this fishbowl under my feet? Sometimes, water even leaks into the passenger compartment. The problem is that the drains are clogged. They need to be cleaned, otherwise you won't have a fishbowl under your feet. Even this can cause the water to freeze in the winter, which can also cause the wipers to stop working. Which is also not good. There are 3 drains in the second-generation Renault Megane. The first one is on the right side, as you can see in the video. It gets clogged, but when you clean it, there's a valve cover there that you can basically tear off and throw away. And don't worry, and you can see how the water immediately started flowing when you cleaned it. The second and third drains are located under the left wheel, under the fender liner. To clean everything there, you need to remove the left wheel. Remove the fender liner and then you'll figure out how to clean everything. There's one drain for the water drain and another for the air conditioner, basically everything. I wish you a dry ride, comfort, and good luck. Installing Xenon on a third-generation 2009 Honda SRV. Halogens were installed from the factory, but since the lensed headlights allow it, well, they're a combination. You can install both xenon and halogen. Halogens, of course, produce terrible lighting. I'm sure anyone watching this video is already aware of how dismal the light is on halogens. I tried several different halogen bulbs, but nothing helped. I watched the video. People install them, and the standard ones are, of course, very expensive. It's, let's say, a hassle. I decided to experiment to see if it makes sense to just install xenon without the automatic leveling and other wiring. I went with the simplest average quality kit. I used the standard holes, meaning I didn't drill anything extra. So I secured the ignition unit with 3 bolts. There's plenty of room. I checked before installing it, on the right, on the left. On the battery side, it's a little more compact, but there's still room. On the passenger side, there's plenty of room. So there's no problem installing it at all, and it won't interfere with anything. The ignition unit is installed. I drilled a hole here. Secured the power connection to the bulb myself, so that it doesn't dangle anywhere. Here too, as you can see. Most likely I'll also grab it with a clamp here with a cable tie, so that it doesn't dangle, doesn't bend anywhere. There's enough space here. The bulb is installed itself. Here is the negative contact. The positive was on the bulb, removed, put them back. Checked, everything fits pretty tightly, nothing fell out anywhere, there was good contact. I illuminated the hole with a 24-step drill. Everything was installed without problems, the rubber is soft, everything slammed back. That is, all the wiring is hidden in. Everything is in its standard place. This is the option we got. And I'll install it on the headlight on the car. I'll see, maybe somewhere else these wires are tied to the wall with a cable tie. So that it doesn't dangle, I'll show the result. Even in daylight, you can see the difference. We already have Xenon installed on the right side. You can barely see the stripe in the center. This is our halogen. The second option, you can basically see how it shines with this. This part flickers, it looks like it's in the engine compartment. I secured it with a cable tie, just tightening it a little so it doesn't rattle or wobble. Here, we have the block in plain sight. You can easily reach the distributor block with your hand. I'll just move it around a bit now. I'm touching it with my hand right now. The place is here, as you can see, just behind your eyes, and you can test it. I can reach it with my hand and feel how it heats up. How hot it is, how hot it is. By the way, I forgot to mention one more thing. Well, I'll probably show you on the second sample. You need to put a thermal pad in the ignition unit. Just in case, it wouldn't be unnecessary. So, regarding the ignition unit itself. Here's what's under the cover. This is how they calculate this cooling. It's all sealed with sealant, but it's kind of soft. It doesn't look like it has any thermal conductivity. Just this little patch. So it looks like it'll cool practically nothing. So I'll clean this off. This part is very easy to clean off. These edges need to be sanded down to make it a little neater. You see, it falls off, so everything is tight. I might even go along the contour with sealant and the thermal pad. I think it's 1 millimeter, or maybe 2 millimeters, and it fits right here and will conduct heat very well. Keep that in mind. I recommend doing this if you have a detachable one. And they're all detachable, I guess. So, you should check how well the cooling is organized so that the unit lasts longer.